Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Good morning, everyone. It is now time to start this fourth session of Borneo Ocean Talks by welcoming the panelists, viewers, and session organizers. Title of this session is The Practice of Sustainable Use and Challenges in Conservation of Coastal Resources. This is part of Virtual Ocean Celebration 2020 program in conjunction with the World Oceans Day and Coral Triangle Day, co-organized by the Borneo Marine Research Institute of University Malaysia Sabah and the Ministry of Environment and Water. It is my pleasure to be moderator for this session. My name is Saleem Mustafa. I am from Borneo Marine Research Institute. The objectives of this session are to share the current status and research carried out in the coastal areas and to highlight some challenges in conservation of coastal resources. Today we have three distinguished panelists for sharing their enlightened views and ideas on the related topics. These panelists are Engineer Muhammad Radzi bin Abdul Hamid from National Hydraulic Research Institute of Malaysia, or NAHRIM, Engineer Dr. Michael Tay from the Department of Irrigation and Drainage, Sabah, Dr. Joseph Tangah of Sabah Forestry Department. In this 2-hour program, each panelist will have up to about 30 minutes. May I now invite Engineer Muhammad Radzi to share his ideas on the topic research on the sustainability of the country's ocean and coastal resources. Let me say a few words about the speaker. Engineer Radzi graduated in civil engineering from the University of Hartford, USA, and subsequently joined Public Works Department of Malaysia before moving over to the National Hydraulic Research Institute of Malaysia under Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment. He serves as the Director for Coastal and Oceanography Research Center. His main responsibilities are planning and execution of R&D programs in areas related to coastal engineering and environment. He also provides consultancy to public and private sectors in hydrodynamic modeling. Engineer Radzi coordinates research programs with institutions of higher education and other agencies and helps in capacity building. He is qualified professional engineer in the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Among his notable contributions is the work on sea level rise due to climate change. This has enabled the identification of vulnerable areas and estimation of adaptation measures needed. Engineer Radzi is also a committee member of the Malaysian Construction Excellence Awards. With this introduction, it is my pleasure to request Engineer Radzi to deliver his talk. Engineer Radzi, please.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera and very good morning. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Okay, first of all, I want to send regard from my boss, Datuk IR, Dr. Ahmad Nasir. He cannot join us this morning sebab dia kena attend another urgent meeting this morning. So I hope you all can bear with me lah. InsyaAllah, I try my best to present whatever yang dah disediakan ni. Okay. Okay, my topic today is kita ikut tema penyelidikan ke arah kelestarian sumber lautan dan pesisir pantai negara. So, topik ni saya ikut kita buat berdasarkan you punya tema lah. Okay. So, this is basically content that I'll speak this morning. Sedikit on introduction, pengenalan, and masalah dan cabaran penyelidikan NAHRIM yang telah kita jalankan selama ni, hala tuju penyelidikan NAHRIM. Okay. Okay, mungkin before that I lupa nak introduce NAHRIM ni actually is a institute yang buat kajian R&D for government lah. So basically kita ada buat I think staff about 180 staff. And then kita ada 10 cawangan. Bahagian Pusat kajian yang I head is di Pusat Kajian pantai and oceanography. So saya memang kita in charge untuk kajian-kajian yang bersisir pantai je. Okey, sikit mengenai sumber lautan dan pesisir pantai. Kita tahu mengandung itu ekosistem bakau dan hutan pesisir pantai, haiwan pesisir pantai dan hidupan marin. Dan juga kita tengok di pantai, kita tengok ada plankton, phytoplankton dan zooplankton, seagrass, rumpai laut, dan juga sedimen pantai dan laut lepas. So kita kalau ikut memang kajian NAHRIM memang berdasarkan semua ni lah. Kita buat kajian ni memang untuk menyokong pada dasar kajian on SSDG, Sustainable Development Goal 14. And beside kita juga ada sustainable lain yang kita ikut, Sustainable SDG 11, 15 dan 9. Okay. Okay, now I go into masalah cabaran. I think this is what yang kita nak dengar lebih. Well, kemerosotan sumber pantai negara ni atau pesisir pantai, dia ada two main factor lah. Factor natural, semula jadi, climate change and sea level rise and so on, dan juga faktor anthropogenic. Anthropogenic kita tengok macam pembangunan tidak terancang, unplanned development, aktiviti perikanan yang melebihi had, and then pelancongan tanpa kawalan, penambakan dan terus guna tanah pantai. Yang ini memang sekarang ni banyak kerja-kerja untuk reclamation ni. Pencemaran industri dari daratan dan sungai, yang mana kadang-kadang industrial dia dekat pantai, perkapalan dan pencemaran marin. Okay. Dan satu lagi ialah macam penggorekan sumber pasir sungai, pantai dan laut lepas. Yang ni memang kadang-kadang masalah sebab pasir sungai dia bawah state, semua ni dikontrol oleh state. Jadi kadang-kadang dasar utama daripada federal. So kadang-kadang benda ni agak bercanggah. So ini yang kadang susah nak kontrol. Memang kalau ikut antara masalah umum kita adalah ketiadaan kawalan dan had pembangunan yang khusus di kawasan pesisir pantai. And then kita tengok juga macam tekanan pembangunan pelaburan bernilai tinggi yang berorientasi pelancongan. Sebab pantai kebanyakan banyak orang nak develop dekat pantai sebab this is a tourist area. So itu yang susah nak kontrol tu. Lagi satu keupayaan tampungan infrastruktur sedia ada di bahagian kawasan tidak menyeluruh. Sometimes kita punya infrastruktur di kawasan pantai pun tak mencukupi. And also sistem saliran. Kita tengok sistem saliran di kawasan pantai not very systematic. Apa yang kita tengok macam hotel kat pantai, ada tempat sedang saya tak nak mention, dia just lepaskan dia punya tu ke laut saja. Dia punya air lepas tu. Air kumahan tu dia lepas ke laut saja. Okay, lagi kawasan pesisir pantai terdedah kepada bencana hakisan pantai, kenaikan aras laut, tropical storm dan sebagainya. Juga kesan kita tengok isu dan kesan kepada sosioekonomi penduduk. Lagi juga macam kita tengok isu-isu pencemaran penjualbuahan tanah kerajaan. Kita tengok banyak tempat macam ni, banyak pendatang dia akan ceroboh kawasan pantai. Baik itu mudah bagi dia untuk buat penempatan. Lagi isu penambakan dan terus guna pantai. Yang ini satu macam saya mention tadi memang masalah besar sebab kita tahu pantai ni kata cara mudah untuk dapatkan tanah dan murah dan boleh jual dengan harga mahal ialah cara mendapatkan kerja reclamation lah. Dapat buat kerja reclamation dan tanah tu kita boleh jual dengan harga yang mahal. Okay, seterusnya cabaran untuk hakikat pantai kita tengok. Okay. 15% daripada pantai kita kalau ikut panjangnya lebih kurang 8,840 kilometer. Yang ni kalau ikut NCS 2015. So 15% ni kalau ikut memang orang kata memang mengalami hakisan. I think this one tak apa I don't want to elaborate lebih sebab nanti ni I think pihak JPN akan mention, I am sure dia akan mention dengan lebih lanjut nanti. Okay, 72% pantai barat semenanjung Malaysia adalah pantai berlumpur dengan tumbuhan bakau. Bakau biasanya disesuaikan untuk tanah-tanah yang berlumpur. And 90% pantai timur semenanjung Malaysia, daripada Kelantan sampai Johor, ada pantai yang berpasir, 90%. Ini beras Sabah pula 76% merupakan pantai pasir di Sarawak, dan about 54% pantai lumpur di Sabah, 54% lumpur. So, jadi kalau ikut ini antara cabaran yang kita hadapi untuk macam mana kita nak pelihara ni, sebab kita tengok pantai-pantai berlumpur, kalau boleh kita nak introduce cara yang kita panggil EBA, ecological based approach. Bagaimana kita untuk mengawal pantai kita dengan menanam bakau lah, kalau boleh, bakau-bakau yang semula jadi ni. Saya rasa ni mungkin pada sekejap lagi bahagian hutan pun mungkin akan mention lebih pasal ni. Pantai berpasir mungkin kita sesuai cadangkan untuk beach nourishment. Kita juga tahu kata punca kata pantai ni lebih pada tadi ialah semula jadi dan juga anthropogenic. Dia kata gangguan dan proses pantai, perubahan guna pantai dan juga pembangunan garis pantai juga akan berubah. Sebab tu semula jadi dan juga tindakan manusia akan menyebabkan impact yang I would say negative impact kepada rakyat semua. Sedikit saya lebih cabaran fenomena kenaikan aras laut. Yang ini saya suka nak mention sebab kajian ni adalah satu kajian yang NAHRIM kita tumpukan sejak dulu lagi, sejak sarankan RMK 11. Kita memang buat kajian untuk climate change. Salah satu faktor sebab jadi kemerosotan sumber pesisir pantai termasuklah impak perubahan iklim dan juga peningkatan aras laut, yang mana merupakan bidang kajian utama NAHRIM dari dulu sampai saya mention tadi. Fenomena perubahan iklim adalah isu hangat yang sering diperkatakan di dunia. Impak kalau ikut IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, fenomena perubahan iklim atau climate change ini akan memberi kesan rantaian chain effect, di mana peningkatan suhu dunia akan beri kesan kepada pencairan glasiers di kutub, yang menyebabkan isi padu lautan berubah sekaligus. Jadi fenomena akan menyebabkan peningkatan aras laut. Jadi memang ada kena-mengena. Pengembangan haba lautan dan pencairan. Dia ada satu lagi, dia kalau ikut yang ini antara main factor lah. Faktor lain lagi ada changes of terrestrial. Perubahan contoh macam pantai itu sebelum ni ada kawasan macam bakau. Di kawasan itu bila kita dah terbang, jadi ini pun ada efek juga. Tapi yang main effect is di situ lah. Selain itu juga kita ada kesan storm surge. Ini kata sea level rise. Ini disebabkan oleh perbezaan tekanan atmosfera di lautan laut menyebabkan kejadian storm surge. Nanti saya akan tunjukkan bagaimana storm surge ini dia akan memberi kesan lebih buruk lagi daripada kenaikan aras laut. Okey. Okey, sedikit saya tekankan pendidikan yang NAHRIM telah lakukan. Kita projek dengan satu macam saya mention tadi daripada RMK 11, kita jalankan penyelidikan on climate change. Kita buat unjuran untuk sea level rise. Kita buat ini adalah berdasarkan data-data historical. Data kita gunakan data session yang Japan ada lebih kurang 5 session. Kita juga rujuk pada satellite altimeter 30 session. So based on historical data, kita unjurkanlah, kita gunakan climate model, kita unjurkan, jadi kita dapat kita punya unjuran untuk 2100. Jadi saya tunjuk dia punya peta kenaikan aras laut. Okey, yang ni macam saya macam tadi kita buat, sebenarnya kita mula 2010 kita pernah buat kajian untuk sea level rise ni, untuk unjuran itu berdasarkan AR4. AR4 ni yang dikeluarkan oleh IPCC. Yang 2017 kita buat sekali lagi kajian ni, kita revise. Ini berdasarkan AR5 yang terkini lah, paket ni AR6 belum dikeluarkan lagi. So kalau ikut kajian pendidikan ni menyeluruh climate change, kita juga pendidikan impact saltwater intrusion, kita tengok CVI, Coastal Vulnerability Index. Ini pun kita ada buat. Kita buat ni based on unjuran Saliran ni, kita tengok kawasan-kawasan yang terpilih, kawasan-kawasan yang kritikal, dan kita seterusnya kita buat kita buat data collection, dan kita run model, kita tengok what is the effect. Penyelidikan kenaikan air terhadap fizikal socio-ekonomi pantai pun kita buat juga, contohnya di Langkawi, Batu Pahat dan sebagainya. Penyelidikan dan pembangunan inovasi, ini pun kita ada juga buat kerja-kerja ni, kita try menggunakan pasti untuk produk-produk yang boleh membantu dalam menangani masalah hakisan dan juga climate change ni. Sistem pengurusan pantai, oceanografi, ini pun kita ada terlibat juga. Okey, ini yang saya mention tadi. Unjuran kenaikan laut pada 2100. Yang ni kalau tuan tengok, ini dalam meter ni 0.7 di sepanjang Malaysia. Kalau di Johor dia, lebih kurang dia hampir sekata 0.7 meter lebih kurang. Pantai timur pun lebih kurang sama, di Malaysia Timur pun so average lebih kurang 2,5 kaki lah, lebih kurang 2,5 kaki kenaikan yang diunjurkan pada tahun 2100. Jadi inilah data kalau ikut di map yang kita kontur, yang mana tunjukkan yang mana yang ketinggian kita punya kawasan di sini lebih yang mana yang kurang pada 1 meter. Jadi kalau tengok, tuan-tuan tengok ni, kawasan ni adalah yang berisiko akan ditenggelami. So mungkin sebahagian ni akan ditenggelami lah kawasan-kawasan ni. Kalau 1 meter, ini 0.7 meter pun hampir ini. Jadi kalau 1 meter, dia akan impact lah kawasan-kawasan ni. Tapi biasanya kawasan ni kalau dia macam tanah tinggi, contoh macam saya mungkin sanakan, mungkin dia punya impact tak berapa kalau di compare dengan low lying area macam ni. Di Kuala Kedah, di Batu Pahat, dan juga Kelantan. This is low lying area. So low lying area kalau kena air laut sikit pun dia akan jadi effect. So, dia effect dia akan tidak sama untuk kawasan-kawasan ni. Okey, ini sedikit macam saya mention tadi, kita identify kawasan yang kita identify yang agak kritikal. Jadi saya mention kawasan Selangor. So saya nampak kawasan tadi about 0.68 meter. So sebagai tengok, kita ada buat kajian sikit sebagai tengok kawasan ni banyak kawasan-kawasan yang sensitif area, yang banyak yang ada kos tinggi, macam banyak kawasan perkilangan, penduduk ramai. Itu kita buat kajian ni. Kita tengok what's the effect. Kalau tengok sini, memang kawasan ni kita tengok kalau 2016 masa kita buat kajian tu, sini kenaikan 2050 dengan kenaikan 0.22 meter saja akan jadi ketinggian macam ni. Kalau 2100 kenaikan 0.8, dia akan jadi 2.82 meter. Jadi dengan ketinggian ini, kawasan ada sebahagian kawasan ni yang rendah akan terjadi. Kalau tengok ni yang yang biru ni, ini adalah kawasan yang will be affected. In fact kita kita tunjuk lah ni. Kita ada detail kajian. Based on this, kita tengok tanah land use. Kita dapat land use, kita tengok kawasan-kawasan ni, kita dapat effect, kita tengok kawasan ni, kita tengok what is the effect, kesan lagi. So kita dapat kos, saya ingat ada ibarat macam 1.4 billion. The effect kalau kita tak buat apalah. So ini kita dah ada cadangkan untuk contoh macam adaptasi simpan-simpan, naikkan bangunan ni. Kalau tuan tengok ni kesan-kesan arus air. In fact, ini memang inisiatif penduduk. Mereka dah naikkan dia punya bangunan-bangunan sana. Okey, ini salah satu contoh kawasan yang kita buat detail kajian. Yang berdasarkan tadi kita punya unjuran tadi, kita pilih dan kita buat detail kajian. Okey. Macam saya mention tadi juga, kita cadangkan adaptasi juga. Selepas kita buat kajian, kita dapat impact kawasan-kawasan tadi ya, kita terus cadangkan a few adaptation yang kita sesuai untuk pihak yang terbabit ambil tindakan. Contohnya macam kawasan ni, ada cadangan kita cadangkan mungkin ban pantai mungkin perlu dinaikkan. Mungkin ni design dulu base mungkin sudah 10 atau 20 tahun yang lalu. Structure ni, dia punya integrity sudah kita tidak sama dulu. Jadi ada keperluan kita untuk revise lebih crash level. So pembinaan ban pantai sudut pantai patut kita tengok balik. Meninggikan arah sudut pantai, menaikkan arah jeti, this is future kita boleh ambil. Kita juga struktur pelindung pantai atau pecah ombak yang kita patut boleh kena pasti kawasan-kawasan yang perlu dibuat. Pengorekan muara sungai, ini pun juga boleh menjejaskan kawasan-kawasan muara sungai itu, menyebabkan kalau kawasan itu boleh dulu boleh tahan lama lagi dia punya dengan genangan air laut ni, dengan sedimentation punya problem menyebabkan dia tidak mampu bertahan lama. Pembinaan tidal gate dan juga sebagai untuk kawasan perubahan air masin lah. Okey, ini contoh lah. Tengok. Okey, sedikit saya nak mention lagi pasal sea level rise dan juga storm surge. Perbezaan kalau tuan-tuan tengok ni, bila kita buat kajian ni kajian kita buat di pantai Kuala Terengganu ingat lebih kurang 30 km lah kita buat pantai Terengganu. So yang ini kesan, kita tengok kesan impact of sea level rise. Berdasarkan kita kajian, kita tengok dia impact yang biru ni. Sorry. Ni yang baseline. Ini dia punya kawasan affected. Biru ni. So kalau dengan tambah storm surge ni dengan maksudnya ada angin sekali. Nanti saya tunjuk simulasi lagi lagi. Dengan datangnya angin menyebabkan impact tu lebih lagi. So dengan impact lebih, kalau tengok ni yang biru ni. So easily I think kalau tengok ni kalau akan menyebabkan 15 to 20% lebih dia punya kesan impact terhadap pantai. Kalau silabra mungkin dikatakan ini macam biru ni, dia akan tambah biru dan juga dark blue ni kesannya. Okay, kalau tengok dia punya ni contoh, ini simulasi yang pernah ada lah. I hope okay. Kalau tengok ni kata contoh ni ban yang ada ni perkampungan atau bandar tengok ni. This is the Sumber going this side lah. Tengok angin tiup habis affected di bangunan sini habis. So ini saya ingat mungkin storm surge yang speed angin yang biasa ni, bukan angin yang kata more than 100 atau 200 km ni. Saya ingat mungkin 60-70 km per hour je ni. Kalau tengok itu kesan dia. So storm surge ni the effect is more, at least 20% more. So kalau ikut kajian memang NAHRIM, memang kita untuk RKM 12 ni memang kita ke arah tu Okey, ini saya sebagai contoh lah. Di luar negara kita pernah tengok mungkin di Belanda tengok bagaimana dia menghadapi kata-kata storm surge, dia ada storm barrier. Kalau tengok sini dia ada buat tidal gauge dia halangan compartment dam untuk protection untuk ni air tawar dan air masin. Sini okey. Impact kalau tengok dike di sana dia spend a lot of money. Dia really spend untuk macam ni. Tengok dia punya reka bentuk dia, return period dia 1:2 between 1:2000 sampai ke 1:10,000. Bahagian Malaysia kita mungkin 1:100 ataupun lebih kuat 1:200 saja. Jadi kalau kita tengok how much they spend, they spend easily 10-15 billion money untuk struktur-struktur menghadapi inilah impact storm surge ataupun sea level rise. Okey, ini sedikit tambahan. Sebab itu kita NAHRIM bukan juga kita untuk Malaysia, kita juga ada buat kajian lain. Betul, kalau tengok kita ada buat ini lebih pada sekarang ni kajian yang melibatkan kalau ikut pantai dan oceanografi, ini bagian sekarang yang bagian oceanografi yang kita buat penyelidikan model lautan untuk suhu sea surface temperature. Kita ada buat kajian sikit untuk mengetahui suhu suhu di pantai kita. Ini juga kajian kesesuaian penanaman bakau di Teluk Mahdu Sabah. Kita ada buat kajian tempoh hari. Kita sebenarnya duduk dalam jawatan kuasa untuk menasihatkan kajian kesesuaian penanaman bakau di sepanjang pantai Malaysia. So, salah satu ini yang kita boleh nasihat. So yang ini mungkin nanti pihak Jabatan Hutan akan boleh elaborate lebih. Ini pula kita ada buat NAHRIM juga boleh mampu buat physical model. Kita ada kemampuan lab physical model. So not only numerical model, kita juga buat physical model. So ini contoh kita pernah buat physical model untuk hakisan di Kuala Terengganu, airport Terengganu. Itu kita pernah buat. Okey, ini lagi satu, kita juga terlibat dipanggil lah untuk kajian hidrolik di pembentukan berting pasir di Sarawak. Ini kalau ikut kata apa, untuk ni lah kajian untuk melibatkan kedaulatan negara. So, kita bersyukurlah mana NAHRIM dijemput untuk bersama-sama untuk membuat kajian hidrolik peruntukan berting pasir. Ini sedikit saya mungkin boleh bagaimana sebab berting pasir ni dia terjadi kita kalau dulunya dia mungkin jadi tak nampak, tapi sekarang ni dia ni dulu mungkin bila high tide nampak berting pasir di sini. Ni jauhnya I think about 100 km per mili kawasan ni. So jadi berting pasir ni dia sekarang ni dah macam almost sentiasa ada. Jadi dah sekali macam dah takut jadi perebutan dengan kita dengan negara-negara luar. Jadi sebab tu kita pernah pergi tengok sama ada kejadian ni adakah ianya semula jadi ataupun man-made. Itu kajian yang kita terlibat. Okey, kita juga ada selain tu penilaian impact untuk ni kajian hidrolik di Pulau Tinggi. Kita buat kajian untuk pihak JKR untuk ada juga Jabatan Tambang Laut Malaysia untuk menilai ni kesesuaian ataupun dipanggil hidrolik modelling sama ada JT ini sesuai. Misalnya takut dia ada impact kepada neighbor kat sini ataupun dan sebagainya ataupun akan menjejaskan di coral kat situ. Jadi kita ada buat kajian input. Ini kita ada juga buat yang ni latest kita dapatlah buat kajian bersama dengan GMG, Jabatan Meteorologi, Jabatan Mineral Geoscience. Kita jemput untuk bersama-sama buat kajian impact pengorekan pasir laut di pesisir pantai. Kita tengok sama ada nanti kalau pengorekan pasir di sini adakah kesan terhadap pantai ni. So kita ni baru bermula kajiannya. Ini lagi satu kajian juga kita pun agak baru juga mula ni. Kajian kualiti air marin dan pencemaran mikroplastik di Pulau Pinang dan Terengganu. Ini NAHRIM dijemput buat kajian bersama dengan pihak UMT lah. Okey, sikit lagi kita agak tunggu slide tu. Hala 7 penyelidikan NAHRIM. Okey, NAHRIM ikut yang menjadi strategi NAHRIM ke arah kelestarian sumber pesisir pantai dan lautan negara. Kita akan teruslah, kita akan meneruskan menjalankan penilaian terperinci terhadap sumber marin dan pelbagaian biologi di pesisir pantai dan lautan negara. So kita untuk arang ke-12 ni kita pun ada mohon sejumlah yang ni lah untuk kajian-kajian semua ni. Kita juga memberikan khidmat nasihat bagi penyediaan garis panduan dan polisi bagi aspek teknikal di dalam pemeliharaan dan pemeliharaan sumber pesisir pantai. Ini mungkin kita terlibat, baru ni kita terlibat dengan Plan Malaysia. Kita juga terlibat bagi nasihat untuk kesesuaian rancangan fizikal negara, kesesuaian dengan naiknya arah laut, sama ada kawasan yang sesuai untuk dibangunkan atau di garis panduan. Kita terlibat sedikit banyak untuk membantu menyediakan garis panduan. Dan juga kita akan terus integrasi input penyelidikan NAHRIM kepada pelbagai agensi perancang dan pelaksana di peringkat persekutuan dan negara. So dengan kajian kita buat, kita harap dapat membantu contoh macam EPU dalam merancang, pihak-pihak UPEN dalam merancang pembangunan di pantai, dan juga mungkin juga macam PBT dan seterusnya. Kita juga harap dengan kajian kita membantu pihak-pihak yang agensi pelaksana dalam contoh JKR, JPS untuk melaksanakan kerja. So boleh dia berdasarkan kita punya kajian tu. So I think saya kan kita juga bersedialah kalau ada pihak-pihak universiti atau jabatan lain untuk untuk nak buat kerjasama kajian yang sama, kita jemputlah kalau ada nak jalan kerjasama kajian, so kita jemputlah untuk kajian akan datang. So sebagai penutup saya sampaikan sikit, hasrat NAHRIM meneruskan penyelidikan berimpak tinggi bagi terus menyokong hasrat kerajaan bagi tujuan memelihara dan memelihara kepelbagaian biologi di Malaysia. Ini selaras dengan dasar biologi kebangsaan iaitu 2016 hingga 2025. So kita harap dengan ini juga kita dapat komitmen daripada semua pihak untuk memelihara biodiversiti, maksudnya mengurangkan tekanan ke atas biodiversiti, melindungi ekosistem utama, spesies dan kepelbagaian genetik. Kita memastikan faedah daripada penggunaan biodiversiti dapat dikongsi bersama, meningkatkan keupayaan, pengetahuan dan kemahiran semua pihak berkepentingan untuk memelihara dan memelihara biodiversiti di pantai negara. So, saya ingat kali itu saja. Kali ini saya ucapkan terima kasih kerana terutama pada pihak UMS lah, kerana memberi peluang pada NAHRIM untuk menyampaikan banyak hasil kajian yang kita telah jalankan selama ini. So, dengan itu saya sudahi mengucapkan Assalamualaikum dan terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Radzi for your interesting talk. Terima kasih Engineer Radzi for your interesting talk. If anyone has any question, I am sure Engineer Radzi will be pleased to answer. Any question for Engineer Radzi? There is one question from Dr. Nur Fatiha. Sejauh makanan impact sea level rise di Sabah? Engineer Radzi.
Ya, tak apa clear. Impact kenaikan laut di Sabah kan?
Sejauh manakah impact sea level rise di Sabah?
Oh, impact di Sabah ya? Sea level rise di Sabah?
Do you have any information?
Engineer lah.
About Sabah, do you have any information about the sea level rise?
Sabah ya, macam Sabah macam saya mention tadi. Dia daripada 0.71 meter ya. Okay. Kalau tengok ni, dia varies. Sabah 0.73. Dulu kajian untuk maklumat, dulu kita pernah buat kajian pasal AR4 dulu. Kawasan ni hampir 1 meter pasal AR4, tapi itulah yang kita punya hasil dapatan kajian terkini, dia agak sekata sekarang about 0.7 meter saja impact dia. Kalau ikut impact kita RMK12 memang kita ada cadang nak buat kajian di belah sini, kawasan sini. Dulu kita pernah buat kajian di Sandakan. Tu macam saya mention di Sandakan, walaupun agak tinggi dia punya projection, namun dia punya kawasan low, dia bukan low lying area. Dia kawasan tanah tinggi. In fact, dia already move. Bandar-bandar situ kata apa, dia dah move another level. Dia dah berpindah. I think dia already mungkin dah adapt sendiri sebelum ni. Jadi the impact tak nampak sangat lah.
Okay. Terima kasih. Okay, Dr. Nur Fatiha.
Boleh? Does it answer your question?
Okay, there are no more questions. Engineer Radzi, thank you very much.
Sama-sama.
The next speaker is Dr. Michael Tay. Dr. Michael Tay.
Hello, hi.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Dr. Michael Tay is, let me introduce you. Dr. Michael Tay is a professional engineer. He is specialized in hydraulics. He obtained PhD from University of Portsmouth, UK. Dr. Michael is currently serving as district engineer at the Department of Irrigation and Drainage, Sabah. He handled the job of analysis and design of flood mitigation, coastal engineering, and discharge regime management. Dr. Michael has contributed many research papers. He regularly undertakes professional review of discharge regime and coastal assessment works. Dr. Michael is also expert in advanced composite structural design and modeling analysis. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Michael to deliver his presentation. Dr. Michael, please, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Professor Mustafa. And first of all, I would like to thank the Borneo Marine Research Institute, part of UMS, and a special mention to Dr. EJ for approaching me and having this opportunity to share. Just a bit of the introduction to the function of JPS Sabah. As a government organization, we are involved in mainly aiding and giving our technical advice as a part and parcel of the Department for Coastal Engineering as well as shoreline management for the state of Sabah. And just to expound on what has been presented by by our counterpart in NAHRIM. It's as part of Sabah, we actually stand about 20% of the coastline in Malaysia. Out of the 8,840 kilometers, Sabah actually takes up 1,743. So we are having the longest coast in Malaysia. And what I'm about to present is more of a local context, and I would like to move on to my slide, and we'll discover more from there. Okay, so let's screen. Okay, so the title of my presentation today is Coastal Impact as a Result of Rivers and Mining. Moving on, this is a rather hit topic that has been sort of discussed upon lately, and it's a direct impact to the coastline, especially in the state of Sabah. I think it has been mentioned before that river is an important pathway of sediment source from the hinterland to the coastal area. And the sediment eroded in the mountainous area, which is in the catchment, will deposit along the coastline, and it forms as a part of coastal morphology. And this is a system that is basically has been a part of the natural process. So the it is very important that we understand the how the system works, and of course, if there is any interaction within the system, which I'll expound later, the coastal processes will also be impacted. Okay, and the presentation objective today is to show that activities or project that has been implemented within the system will affect the coastline, and also the erosion that has been going on as part of the natural system. Okay, so moving on, this for the river and coastal sediment budgets, I think we are looking at this in the slide. I think I'll explain more on this. As a part of the natural processes with the river conveyance, the sediment will move within the river channel, within the catchment, and then it will be deposited to the river mouth, and the oceanic impact will come in, be it a wave and also lateral drift. The overall equilibrium of the system and how it deposits within the coastline highly depends on the oceanic dynamics and also the sediment source that is coming in. And it is the determination of the outcome of potentially deposition or the erosion of a coastline, which we'll see more later. The other aspect of sediment deposition that we can see, this is one of the good example. Because of a construction of a dam upstream, will essentially block all the sediment before the dam, and resulting in a coastal retraction, as we can see in the second picture here, which depicts the yellow line being the original coastline, and it has, as we can see, it has been eroded quite significantly, and we can see all these luxury resorts that will result in ultimately spending quite a lot more to protect the boundaries and having their facilities in place. Okay. On to river sand mining. This is more of a sensitive topic to talk about as well, but essentially we do have to understand what is going on here to really evaluate our priorities. The sand mining in the construction industry is, as we know, Sabah is a developing state, and there's still a lot to improve here, and with that it comes with a lot of development. And as it has been mentioned just now, this is unavoidable, but we do have to take proper steps and follow the stated guideline, as well as doing proper evaluation before sand mining is being carried out. In a normal industrial practice, the nearest source to the construction is generally targeted to minimize the transport costs of a ongoing project. The concept of sustainable extraction limits we can follow with the existing guideline is defined in this three stated here. One is on the river sand mining management guideline by DID and NRE, and also the EIA for sand mining and stone mining as well. And as well as in a more state manner, the guideline of minimizing impact on sand mining and quality of specific river in Sabah. These are the three general guidelines that we look into. But all of these do need to be backed up by hydraulic study, which is numerical model in a systematic manner, because all of these conditions can be quite dynamic, and we do look into them in a more holistic manner. Okay. Okay. So I think this is a very local context. If we can look at Sungai Papar, this is two satellite imagery, as we can see, from the year 1986 to 2016. The river mouth area has been subjected to severe coastal erosion. I think this issue has been over the news as well, and it's a widely known issue. And this, if we can see, there is a few seafront development here has been susceptible to severe coastal erosion. This is mainly a site where there is quite a bit of sand source going on upstream, and of course, having that said, there is changes in land use as well upstream. This is some of the numerical justification of it. Ultimately, for the period of 25 years, we are experiencing about 6 meters per year of erosion, and with the average eroded depth of 5 meters. So the annual erosion in this area in Sungai Papar of the vicinity coast is about 80,000 meter cube per year. So although it's not well quantified here, but we can see as the aftermath of it, that's about 100,000 meter cube of sand extraction that's going on upstream. Okay. moving on. This is a slide that is showing for Pantai Manis. Of course, the mitigation measures has been carried out, but this is what has happened before. That the coastline has been severely eroded, and we can see the public infrastructure here has been washed away. So this is what is going now. As we can see, we from a natural sandy beach, which I think is more favored too for the public and for the people, but now it becomes a Pantai Batu, so it's a rocky beach, and more on I think global warming and sea level rise just now. The design of this structure has happened 10 years ago, but because of sea level rise and storm surge, there is a very we are experiencing a very high wave overtopping in this area, and also we do top up of the sea defense here, with more armored rocks, with the design life that is supposedly to be at least 30 years, but these occurrences happen sooner than that. So we are sort of adapting to the natural processes sooner than we expected. On to another catchment. This is for Sungai Tuaran. The estimated river supply or sediment supply for this catchment is about 115,000 meter cube a year, and for the lateral drift, it's about 60,000 meter cube, and the estimated sand extraction for this catchment is about 100,000 a year. So that brings in a deficit of about 40,000 meter cube a year within this coastal cell. And why this is being so sensitive is because this particular coastal cell is the location where two major resort is happening, and it is located, and it's also a major tourism cell for the state of Sabah. Some numerical justification. It's up to over a period of 11 years. There's about 80 meter of erosion, which brings it average out of about 87 meters a year, and the estimated area eroded is about 121,000 meters square, and that brings it to again eroded depth of 5 meters. So we are having eroded volume of 605,000 meter cube a year, and annual erosion of about 55,000 meter cube a year. So I think all these are numerical, but it's also a very near site that we can access to. It's worth to actually visit and take a look on how the behavior is. Okay, so these are some of the evidence on the sand mining that's happening within that catchment, and we are predicting that it will continue, and it's not a easy issue to solve, because we are having because of this, we are having the natural balance has been affected, and we are having more of a deposition on the northern side of that particular cell, and there is a severe erosion of the southern side, which resulted in a resort that is experiencing very bad coastal erosion, and there's basically a systemic mitigation approach on this cell has to be carried out through numerical assessment. Okay, so these are some of the evidence. As we can see, even the vegetation and all the trees has been destroyed by the sea. Okay, and as we can see, one of the evidence of private property, they are claiming that that's the boundary, and they are taking things into their own hands and doing their own sea defense here. Okay, right. So Sungai Padas, again, one of the Sabah second largest river system, second to the Kinabatangan river system in the east coast of Sabah. So this river discharges into Brunei Bay and is sheltered with mangrove and with no littoral transport per se, because this is a delta system. And estimated river supply from upstream is about 500,000 meter cube per year. Just to give us some context, I think most of the audience are local here. This is the river that connects to Beaufort, as well as upstream Tanam, which is a well-known site for flooding occurrences. Okay, the river supply upstream is about 500,000 meter cube per year, and we are experiencing a sand extraction of about 100,000 per year. So there we go. We have a reserve of about 400,000 meter cube per year of sand. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting case on Sungai Kedamaian. This is mainly this is located in Kota Belud, which is the catchment for Mount Kinabalu, as we all know. Just for everybody's knowledge, there is a feasibility study for this case that's going on, and I believe it has also attracted a lot of international researchers for the uniqueness on these cases, because the sediment transport from the hinterland, from the inland, is triggered by an earthquake. And as we know, Sabah is located on the continental shelf, and occurrences of earthquake doesn't really happen. But lo and behold, it does. So when it happens, and the impact is very severe, because all the sediment layer on the mountainous area will be washed away, and as we can see from the slide here, it clogs up the river system. So what happened here is we do have to take a drastic approach to actually clear a sediment, clear a hydraulic path, water conveyance path. So we do have to manually remove the sediment from the lower coastal area in order for us to solve the flood. But at the same time, also to evaluate the enough sediment to deposit into the bay, which is located in Kota Belud. Right. So very quickly, the summary and conclusion. The activities in the catchment will reduce sediment supply downstream and will eventually impact the coastline, as we can see just now from the few very local contexts that I've just shown. And also for sediment transport, it is very important that for decision makers to be informed. because a lot of these issues are mainly based on hearsay. So it's very important for us to have studies and justification to sort of back it up. And of course, river sand is an important commodity for the economic development. So it begs the question whether the unsustainable extraction at the nearest source is to the overall benefit of the society, or we are paying a higher price for increased transport distance from a more sustainable source in return for maintaining a stable coastline. So again, yeah, consider the cost. So that's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Michael, for a very insightful talk. May I now open the talk to questions from the viewers? Dr. Michael, there are some questions for you.
Sure.
I was wondering if you have coral mining in Sabah. Do you have any information about the coral mining in Sabah, and who are the agencies which give permission?
Okay. As far as I know, for coral mining, on to your question on the agency. Generally, if it's concerning numerical analysis, we will be looked into the picture, but the Environmental Protection Department will be the agency that ultimately look into this. So we do work together with them. So per se, if there is an assessment that has to be done with regards to coastal mining, then they will do the analysis, and we will look into it, and it'll be between us, JPS, and also EPD, the Environmental Protection Department.
Dr. Michael, there is a pointed question. Is there any agency that gives the permission for coral mining? Is there any Sabah that provides permission for coral mining?
That would be with, I think, with EPD, the Environmental Protection Department.
Do you think they give permission for coral mining?
Not that I've came across. No.
There is another question. How sustainable are artificial beaches and beach replenishment as a mitigation measure for coastal erosion? How sustainable are artificial beaches, and how effective are beach replenishment as mitigation measure for erosion?
Okay, very, very good question, and a very interesting question. I do ask myself this question in lots of places. Well, it depends on the site. Having that said, how important is that particular site to us? For beach nourishment, it is a very high cost endeavor. So it has been for many, many years. So what happened is, generally, we do look at the economical sense when it comes to this. Are we actually utilizing the site as often as we need them? Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to actually justify the economical sense. And also the other aspect would be how sustainable the artificial beaches are. That will depend on how well a numerical analysis that has been carried out. Having that said, let's say the curvature of the beach, the extent of the beach that has been reclaimed, the engineering design has to be done in a certain way that it is sustainable to cope with two major occurrences, seasonal occurrences that we are experiencing every year, which is the northeast and the southwest monsoon season. That the artificial beaches won't be washed away, or minimal sand will be washed away. So it will be a self-balancing system, rather than if we just reclaim it without any analysis. Chances are that the sand will be washed away, and we'll actually ended up seeing sandbars and fumes in places that is not meant to be. Does that answer the question?
Dr. Michael, the other part of the question is how effective is the beach replenishment as a measure for mitigating the coastal erosion?
Yes, of course, it's very effective. As soon as the beach nourishment is done on site, we can immediately see the effect. But the thing is, the sustainable site that we are looking at right now, how long will it actually remain there without being washed away? Because the system itself, being a beach that is eroded, naturally we are actually facing a faulty system. So putting sand there is just part of it. Okay, the skill that is what I'm bringing on here is how well can we keep the sand there? That's the ultimate goal here. Okay, so that will then answer the sustainable the sustainable issue question here. So we do have to do a proper analysis to actually keep the sand there. The question is not just to bring the sand there, but also to keep it there.
Thank you very much, Dr. Michael. I hope you don't mind answering the third question.
Sure, please.
Sand mining, what are the factors or activities that lead to coastal erosion in Sabah, other than sand mining? Do you think there are other factors that lead to coastal erosion?
Yes, of course. Sand mining is one thing. The other one, it would be changes in land use upstream, as I've mentioned just now. Because if a cluster of land has been developed, even the plantation that we have from let's say a cocoa pulp plantation, we change it to a mango plantation, that would be resulted in a coastal erosion as well. And of course, the more scientific manner to look at the more vicinity of a site, if we protrude or affect or tamper with the critical shoreline, we tamper with the cluster basically, or tamper with the lateral drift, then the vicinity of the site, be it left or right, will be eroded. There is a few more actually. If we put in let's say rock hard engineering measures, say rock groins or breakwaters or whatnot, that could potentially cause the coastal cell to be tampered with and ultimately result in erosion as well as deposition on the other part of it. So it's a balance that we do have to live with and carefully assess.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Michael, for a very insightful talk. We thank you for your efforts in sharing knowledge on this very important topic. If there are other questions, we will pose to you towards the end of the session. Thank you very much.
Sure, right. Thank you.
Okay, the next panelist is Dr. Joseph Tangah. Dr. Joseph holds a doctorate degree in ecology from University Malaysia Sabah. Pleased to know it. He has been a research fellow at the Sabah Forestry Department since 1992. Dr. Joseph has authored several articles on Sabah mangrove forests and primate fauna. He is very passionate about the uniqueness of the mangrove ecosystem, particularly their role in coastal vegetation in the life of monkeys. Dr. Joseph will speak on sustainable management of mangrove ecosystem in Sabah. So, Dr. Joseph, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Professor Pagi. Good morning. And special thanks to Dr. AJ for the invitation. Oke, seperti yang kita tahu, hutan bakau di negeri Sabah merangkumi 60% daripada slide please. Ringkasnya adalah ekosistem lestari hutan bakau adalah semua kitaran hidup, ya, organisme yang terbentuk daripada Okay, sorry for the interruption. Connection line that good. Okay, we just continue with the second slide. Can you hear me?
Dr. Joseph, you can
So
continue.
apa
Yeah, we can
yang
see.
dimaksudkan
Dr. Joseph,
dengan ekosistem?
yeah, you can continue.
Yes.
You can continue.
Yeah. So without my ugly face, yeah. Okay, Ken.
You can continue. Don't worry. You look smart.
Ringkasnya adalah semua kitaran hidup organisme, ya. Oh ya, Ken.
We can very clearly see your slide.
Ekosistem lestari hutan bakau ringkasnya adalah semua community biotik saling bergantungan untuk membentuk kitaran manakala komponen abiotik, ya, yang terdiri daripada tanah lumpur, udara, gabungan air tawar, air laut yang membentuk air payau di hutan bakau. So interaksi biotik dan abiotik ini menjelaskan peran flora dan fauna dalam sesuatu ekosistem hutan bakau. Next slide, please. So ini adalah komposisi hutan simpanan kekal di negeri Sabah. Negeri Sabah kita yang tercinta ini, ya. Dikemas kini pada tahun 2017 dan ditambah beberapa warta-warta hutan simpan yang terbaru pada 2018 dan 2019. Manakala penandaan sempadan hutan simpan masih berjalan, dan untuk makluman semua, terdapat 7 kelas hutan simpan di negeri Sabah, ya. Dan hutan bakau terdapat di 5 kelas hutan simpan negeri Sabah, yaitu kelas 1 perlindungan, kelas 4 rekreasi, kelas 5 hutan bakau itu sendiri, kelas 6 Virgin Jungle Reserve, dan kelas 7 Wildlife Reserve. Next slide please. Oke. Tabungan hutan bakau yang kita lihat kebanyakannya terdapat di sepanjang pesisiran pantai negeri Sabah, ya. Dan sebahagian besar, hampir 80%, terletak di pantai timur Sabah. Nun jauh di sana, Tawo hingga Lapitas, ya. Terdapat juga tompok-tompok hutan bakau di pantai barat, dekat UMS pun ada, ya. Daripada daerah Beaufort, Tuaran, hinggalah ke Kudat, ya. So next slide please. Skenario kawasan hutan simpan dan keluasan mengikut kelas-kelas hutan simpan mengikut warta enactment hutan 1968. Ya. Kelas 5 yaitu hutan simpan bakau. Hampir kesemuanya terdapat di kawasan pantai timur negeri Sabah. Lebih daripada 200.000 hektar semuanya. Next slide please. Next slide. Ya. Seterusnya, oke, kelas-kelas hutan simpan. Dan ini yang menarik di sini, yaitu kelas hutan simpan kelas 7, di mana Ramsa Kinabatangan merupakan sebahagian daripada hutan simpan tersebut, ya. Seterusnya, slide. Oke, seperti yang dikatakan oleh panelis kita sebentar tadi, masalah-masalah pesisiran pantai ini bukan sahaja kita alami di Semenanjung, Sarawak, di Sabah pun masalah yang hampir serupa, ya. Pertamanya ancaman semasa, misalnya penempatan, pembangunan, aquakultur, penerokaan pertanian di kawasan hutan bakau. Ini semua adalah ancaman yang sangat serius terhadap kelangsungan ekosistem hutan bakau kita, ya. Kedua, pertindihan kepentingan, perundangan yang tidak jelas, ya. Masing-masing ada enactment sendiri, masing-masing ada kuasa sendiri. Ini adalah satu bottleneck dalam mengurus ekosistem hutan bakau yang ada pada masa ini. Ketiga, ya, hasil sumber asli semakin terhambat. Vertikal hutan kita tidak lagi menampung dengan keperluan, adakah terus menghabiskan segala hutan yang ada di Sabah ini, atau kita buat lagi yang terbaik, memulihkan segala sumber yang telah terganggu, ya. Seterusnya, pemeliharaan ekosistem hutan bakau terganggu. Ini kita lakukan Kemudian kelima, ya, sempadan hutan bakau di Sabah ini memang luas, panjang, lebih 1.000 km sempadan dia. Dan untuk menandakan sempadan hutan simpan di lapangan atau boundary demarcation on the ground, it's a problematic. You need a lot of time, you need a lot of money and resources. If you don't have money, if you don't have resources, begitulah itu hutan simpan bakau kita. Kita tidak tahu di mana sempadan. Ini adalah masalah dan cabaran yang kita perlu hadapi. Bukan saja hari ini, tapi masa akan datang. Ya. Dan yang terakhir adalah dasar hutan Sabah 2018 yang telah dilancarkan 2 tahun yang lalu. Ya. Ini membuntuhkan kerajaan pada masa ini untuk menetapkan tidak kurang daripada 30% kawasan hutan di Sabah adalah kawasan yang terlindung. Ya. Oke, untuk menangani masalah yang saya sebutkan sebentar tadi, melalui program pemulihan hutan bakau yang terganggu. Misalnya kita pilih spesies-spesies yang sesuai. Sekiranya kawasan yang terganggu akibat penerokaan, pencorobohan kelapa sawit, kolam udang, kita gunakan spesies bakau yang sesuai. Biasanya Jabatan Hutan menggunakan spesies Rhizophora apiculata, Mukronata, dan sebagainya. Dan sekiranya kawasan berpasir, kawasan pesisir pantai atau beach area, kita gunakan spesies-spesies pantai. Misalnya, Terminalia catapa, pokok ru, bintangor, dan sebagainya. Sekiranya kita menanam pokok yang tidak sesuai di kawasan tersebut, maka kita hanya membuang uang dan tenaga kita di laut. Itu sahaja. Next slide, please. Dalam program penanaman, kita Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah sentiasa melibatkan orang awam, masyarakat di sekitar kawasan hutan bakau tersebut. Karena ini kita rasakan membantu dalam meningkatkan kesadaran awam tentang kepentingan hutan bakau. Semua kita tahu kepentingan hutan bakau, tapi kita kena terapkan berkali-kali, berulang kali, biar jemu bercakap bahwa hutan bakau adalah suatu yang sangat berharga dalam kehidupan kita seharian. Oke, next slide please. So, ini adalah kaidah untuk menanam kawasan-kawasan di pesisiran pantai yang tidak sesuai dengan tanaman pokok bakau yang memerlukan kawasan berlumpur. Ini adalah tanaman di kawasan pesisiran pantai. Kita juga menggalakkan penyertaan masyarakat di kawasan tersebut. So, next slide. Ya. So, kita berakhir dalam sesi yang serba ringkas ini. Ya, kita akan meneruskan program penanaman pokok-pokok bakau di Sabah dengan tujuan untuk memulihkan kawasan hutan bakau yang terganggu dan terus menjalankan aktiviti yang seumpamanya, ya, dengan harapan agar hutan bakau akan terus terpelihara melalui pemantauan berterusan yang dijalankan oleh Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah. Ya. Dan untuk makluman semua, ya, kita di Jabatan Perhutanan mempunyai pasukan pelindung hutan yang bersenjata dan juga K9 yang akan menangani kegiatan ganas dalam hutan simpan bakau, khususnya kegiatan mencuri kulit bakau yang sangat berleluasa di kawasan pantai timur Sabah. So, itulah yang kita lakukan. Ya. So, next slide. Oke, saya suka untuk menunjukkan sebuah pulau di Muara atau di Western Bay ini. Seperti yang dikatakan oleh Dr. Michael T. tadi, ya. Kegiatan menggerudi river sand mining, menggerudi pasir di pesisir di kawasan sungai, khususnya di Sungai Padas dan sungai-sungai yang sewaktu dengannya, amatlah menjejaskan kawasan pesisiran pantai kita. Dan kita bernasib baik dengan wujudnya pulau ini, hasil daripada mendapan pasir yang terkumpul di muara, dan Jabatan Hutan mengambil inisiatif untuk memulihkan pasir berlumpur tersebut melalui penanaman pokok-pokok bakau yang sesuai, ya. Daripada mendapat pasir yang kosong pada tahun 2015, kita mulahkan program pemulihan pasir gondol, mendapat pasir gondol lebih kurang 100 hektar di muara Sungai Western ini, dengan penanaman lebih daripada 30.000 spesies pokok bakau, berbagai spesies. Dalam slide yang ditunjukkan oleh Dr. Michael T. tadi, di muara yang ini, Google belum dapat menjejaki pulau baru ini. Dan kita namakan pulau ini sebagai Pulau Ismi. Ya. So, jangan putus harapan, kita masih mempunyai jumlah kawasan hutan bakau di Sabah yang masih terpelihara dengan baik. Dan diharap dia akan menyumbang kepada kelestarian lautan lepas Malaysia juga. Ya, dengan itu saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Profesor Saleem dan Dr. AJ serta semua ahli jawatan kuasa dalam Ocean Talk number 4 ini. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for a very insightful talk. Any questions for Dr. Joseph? Dr. Joseph, there are a few questions. And any conservation measures taken by the government for mangrove
Prof.
Kota Belud affected by the sedimentation in Kota Belud area? Dr. Joseph, can you hear me?
Yang diambil. I really cannot hear your voice actually, Prof.
Okay.
My line here is not that good.
Okay, just can you hear me now?
But
clear?
I can see the question there.
Okay, then can you respond to it?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your voice is not clear. Yeah.
Okay,
I can see the question there by Muhammad Ali, is it? Apakah langkah-langkah? Yeah. Okay. So I'll answer the question on behalf of Forestry Department.
Yeah.
Oke, kawasan hutan bakau di Kota Belud ini memang masih dalam perhatian Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah. Ya, kita sedang mengenal pasti apakah spesies-spesies yang sesuai untuk ditanam di kawasan tersebut. Misalnya hutan simpan abai, lebih daripada 1.000 hektar di Kota Belud, ya. Ya, pada ketika ini dipelopori oleh rumput-rumput dan bukan situasinya bukan lagi seperti hutan simpan bakau, ya. Dia sudah lebih kepada air payau. Tapi Jabatan Hutan akan mengambil inisiatif untuk mengenal pasti spesies yang sesuai untuk ditanam di kawasan mendapan atau sedimentasi di kawasan pesisiran pantai di Kota Bulut, khususnya kawasan hutan simpan bakau. Ya, saya harap menjawab soalan tersebut, dan untuk pengetahuan ya, memang Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah sedang mengorak langkah lah untuk memulihkan kawasan yang terganggu di Kota Belut tersebut, kawasan pesisiran pantai sana, khususnya hutan simpan bakau ya.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph. There is another question for you. Can you read
So
it?
there's another question from Bobby Mion. Yeah, I can read it. I can read it on my screen.
Please respond.
Says demand for kayu bakau here in Sabah itself, are they commercial mangrove forest, or it is even a viable option? Okay. Well, at the moment, demand for kayu bakau in Sabah is not that great. That's why we have the opportunity to conserve our mangrove forests in Sabah. Demand for charcoal, for example, is also not that great. Even there are few charcoal factory in Sandakan, in Kudat, in Tawau are closing down because the demand is not great. Demand is not there. Yeah, and about the mangrove for piling poles or things like that is also mostly on a small scale. The most challenging for the Sabah Forestry Department is the encroachment from outsiders, from our neighbors, to look for the tengar bugs. We didn't use tengar bug in Sabah. Even in Malaysia, we didn't use mangrove bug, but our neighbors use that. So why not perhaps we can look into that as another opportunity to explore the potential of our mangrove ecosystem, but they have to regulate them. For example, you want to take piling poles, you have to regulate them. You cannot simply enter forest reserve and chop down all the trees, mangrove trees, encroach them sarcastically, yeah. So that's what is happening at the moment. So yeah, your question is right. Okay.
Dr. Joseph, there is another question for you. Can you see it? Dr. Joseph, there is another question for you on the screen from Fight. Dr. Joseph, can you hear? Dr. Joseph, can you hear?
Another question, yeah?
Yeah, can you read it?
Yeah, I can see the question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Bagaimana cara, yeah, okay. Is it a question for me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all right. Ya, cara Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah untuk menggalakkan penyerahan masyarakat untuk melibatkan diri secara aktif dalam program penanaman bakau adalah salah satunya kita bergotong royong, ataupun kita melantik kontraktor swasta, dan kontraktor swasta tersebut akan memberi peluang kepada masyarakat tempatan untuk menyertai atau bekerja secara pengambilan dalam program tersebut. Itu salah satu cara jika kita contract out program penanaman tersebut, ya. Dan memanglah sambutan daripada masyarakat kita di Sabah agak kurang, khususnya yang melibatkan penanaman bakau, karena mereka menganggap kawasan hutan bakau ini ya khususnya di Pantai Barat, ya, saya ingin menyatakan masalah ini di kawasan Pantai Barat. Contoh yang jelas, Sulaman, kawasan Sulaman misalnya, ya. So boleh dikatakan penyertaan masyarakat tempatan, I would rather say is not encouraging at the moment. So that's why we need to encourage meningkatkan kesadaran awam tentang kepentingan hutan bakau. Yeah, I hope I answer your question.
Yes, I think you do.
Okay, I think I have if there's no more other question, I pass this over to you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph, for a very insightful talk. And there are some more questions for other panel members, probably.
Okay.
Dr. Michael or Dr. or Engineer Radzi, please, can you read this question? Azumi? Dr. Michael or Engineer Radzi, can you read this question? This is about the recurring problem of flooding in Pahang.
Yeah, I think just to summarize the question here, it's a two sides of a coin question. Azue bin Nazir is trying to say that it's not sand mining is one thing, and basically this concessionaire was given the approval to remove sand from the river system, and with the intention of giving a better conveyance, a river conveyance for a river discharge to solve flood problem. But on the other side of the coin, we are experiencing coastal erosion as a result of that, because the sediment feed or the sediment yield that is discharged into the sea, it's no longer there anymore. So that begs the question on whether we save more lives in terms of clearing the river, or we can live with the erosion on the coastal front. So that's the priority that we really need to evaluate. I think in a more personal manner, I would say that further evaluation should be carried out with the integration of the social aspect in actually properly evaluating what our priorities are in that specific local context. What are we trying to achieve? Whether we want to solve, we are giving flood more of a priority because it might save more lives, or we need to protect the seafront on the other hand, because it's a system that is a give and take things, that trade-off that we have to live with. That's my take on things. Probably we'll have probably Engineer Razil can chip in more.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, Dr. Michael. Dr. Engineer Radzi, you have something to add?
Okay, I think I agree with macam our friend from JPS now. Basically, kita kena detail study need to be done. You know, sometimes the effect is you for this one because last time maybe the what happened in 2014 dia bertemu. The effect of raining. Can you hear me? Is it okay? The line?
Yes, I can. We can.
Echoing.
Yeah.
So I think what happened is that last time maybe you temukan, air pasang dalam and also from laut and also from the raining. The intensity of rain at that time very heavy. So itu pun possible reason. And I think this one kita kena modelkan betul-betul. That's why in our kajian for the RMK also next year, memang kita ada buat kajian dengan GMG. We want to know is there any effect due to the sand mining dredging dekat pantai dekat sini, how does it affect the pesisir pantai. Tapi kita baru nak mula buat kajian. Kajian it will start baru start this year. I think maybe after that kita can advise better. I think that's I just want to add. Thank you.
Okay, there is one more question for Engineer Radzi or Dr. Michael. Any information about the coastal erosion and sea level rise in Sandakan?
Okay, Sandakan, as I mentioned, we have done a study back in, I think, 2012, but they was based on AR4. AR4, which I think over there, the projection was about 1 meter. But the latest AR5, our new projection in Sandakan around 0.7 meter. Anyway, based on the previous study, Sandakan, the effect not that much, as I told you just now, because over there, the land, Tangah is not considered low-lying area. But I think if I'm not mistaken, the effect of there's a pulau there, Pulau Duyung. Ada kan Pulau Duyung?
Yes.
Pulau Duyung ada effect. I think in 2100 Pulau Duyung, most I think I would say 70-80% will be inundated. That one I can based on our study last time. Yeah, the rest I think should be okay. Macam di perumahan, dia perumahan on water, isn't it? They are no problem. And the bandar, the city, I think they already moved upward. They already moved earlier, I think. Except a few long term jetty, I think need to be raised. Jetty and shipyard. That one maybe need to be raised. But I think I remember the Pulau Duyung. That one will be affected.
Thank you very much. Dr. Joseph, can you hear me? Dr. Joseph, can you hear me? Dr. Joseph, I think I lost connection. Dr. Michael, can you see one more question for you? And probably this is the last for you.
Yeah, I think this is a very simple but good question. Actually, in terms of JPS, we are providing the technical support, but the governing body that holds the enactment for sand mining is generally still with the Environmental Protection Department as well as the Lands and Survey Department. Okay, that's the short to this question.
Well, thank you very much. And I can see one more question. Any initiative to involve community tempatan untuk Pemuliharaan Paya Bakau? Di Sabah, probably Dr. Joseph, can you address this question? Dr. Joseph? Dr. Joseph, can you hear me?
Oh ya, oke. Bagaimanakah community atau organisasi tempatan bekerja sama dengan Jabatan Perhutanan Sabah untuk kerja-kerja restorasi atau afforestation bakau di Sabah?
Yeah.
Ya, Jabatan Hutan Sabah memang menggalakkan penyertaan NGO dan masyarakat tempatan. Tetapi pemudah cara itu bagaimana kita menjalankan aktiviti tersebut. Karena apa yang kita hadapi sekarang adalah sikap tidak kadang-kadang menjadi stumbling block dalam perancangan kita untuk memulihkan sesuatu kawasan tersebut. Bukan semua masyarakat tempat menghargai aktiviti pemulihan kawasan hutan. Karena kenapa? Ia adalah satu kawasan yang boleh dipohon. Misalnya contoh untuk kawasan penempatan. Jadi sekiranya ada masyarakat yang betul-betul ikhlas
Lost connection.
NGO boleh tampil ke hadapan
Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. Dr. Joseph, you have anything to add?
bekerja sama sahaja, ya. Mungkin
Yeah. You have something to add?
dari segi peruntukan uang kita boleh berikan untuk mana-mana NGO atau masyarakat yang ingin melibatkan diri dalam pemulihan kawasan hutan bakau yang terganggu, khususnya di Pantai Timur misalnya, ya, dan di Pantai Barat, khususnya di Sulaman Wetland misalnya. Salah di Sulaman Wetland misalnya adalah
I think we lost connection. Masala connection, right? Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. Dr. Joseph, thank you very much. Maybe the last question is for Engineer Radzi.
Yes.
Can you read this question?
Yes, can see.
Yeah.
Kawasan yang paling terkesan dengan kenal. Okay, ini as I mentioned just remember, dia normally kawasan yang affected are those low-lying area, kawasan yang rendah. Kalau you perhatikan kawasan-kawasan yang selalu banjir, contoh macam Kuala Kedah, Kelantan, Batu Pahat, Kuching, Sandakan, nanti ada KK, ada kawasan yang biasanya banjir. Biasanya banjir kalau those memang low lying area. So kalau dah banjir pun dah tenggelam, sea level rise lagilah tenggelam. So easy nak identify kawasan macam tu je. So basically yang kalau sebenarnya I mention Kelantan, Kedah, Batu Pahat, Selangor pun dah starting. In fact dia sea level rise ni I think as macam our friend mention, susah nak expect. Maybe towards the tapi sometimes dia punya tu very fast. Kenaikan tu lagi cepat. Dulu expect mungkin slow kan, with our climate change, and that's itu macam kita punya climate change, hujan pun the intensity changes. Banyaklah macam-macam changes. So I think although our kita punya projection is macam I showed just now, probably mungkin boleh lagi cepat kenaikan, probably. So kita punya projection macam I mentioned just now lah, roughly about 2.5 kaki. 2 kaki, about 2.5 feet in 2100. Ataupun roughly about 3 to 4 mm per year. Basically, lebih kurang tu lah. In fact, mungkin lebih lagi. So I think okay, I think I jawab lah yang soalan daripada Salmi Yanti.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye. That's all for today.
Right?
You have something to add, Encik Radzi?
No, I think again I nak ucapkan terima kasih lah pada UMS bagi peluang pada ni. I tak ada tambahan itu je.
Terima kasih banyak.
Sama.
Okay, we have now come to the end of this session. I would like to thank the panelists, viewers, and organizers of Borneo Ocean Talks for successful completion of this session. I am sure all of us gained new knowledge and ideas that will augur well for raising concern about the health of coastal and marine ecosystems. Undoubtedly, ocean has been a victim of human action since the age of industrialization. We can continue to highlight the plight of oceans, but at the same time, we must invest more efforts in building resilience in this biggest ecosystem on Earth and project it as a solution to the problems. We have much to gain by doing so and much to lose by not doing so. There is an enormous scope for innovative solutions. This is reflected in the theme of this year's World Oceans Day, Innovation for a Sustainable Ocean. I must end the session here with thanks to all the panelists, viewers, and organizers. Terima kasih banyak.
Right. Thank you very much for having